Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, and I want to say Shalom, Jock Knockout out there, pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. And today I got this one, all right, that we're going to roll with. Today or tonight, all right, some brothers are actually already in it. We got a little bit here still. Sundown is 7:02, but tonight is the when the Passover comes in. I'll do a little thing on that. If you don't know how to keep it, all right, those that know how to keep it already know. All right, they would have already known when Passover was because they keep an eye on it. But if you don't, just pray, all right, that the Most High passes over you and protects you and keeps you safe. So it is also, of course, Sabbath coming in, but it's also Passover. So the first and the last days of Passover are counted as a Sabbath, all right, which are as a Sabbath now anyhow, all right, because we're doing Wednesday to Thursday. It's Wednesday today. So you can see it's April 1st to April 8th. The days in between, all right, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. They're all just essentially regular days. You can buy, you can sell, all right, you can, watch TV or whatever, all right, but the first and the last day, the 1st and the 8th, all right, of, April are held as Sabbath. Well, they are Sabbaths and already, but they're also held as Sabbath as Passover. So just pray the Lord passes over you in your house, all right, and now's the time to reflect, all right, and be grateful for what Yahweh Shai has done for you, for us being in this truth, okay? And, remembering essentially what Passover represents is the Exodus out of Egypt, okay? So, deliverance, okay? And it's a time to reflect on, the Lord's deliverance, the Lord's help, and also a time to look forward to the second Exodus, all right, that's coming, okay? The next mass exodus, all right, which is going to go down in history as the one of all time, all right, so much so that the one of Egypt's not going to even be spoken of like that, okay? It's going to be about the deliverance from Babylon. So there's a little update there. If you're not subscribed to it, go and subscribe to this page. It's called GMS New Moons and High Holy Days. That's how you're going to get your Sabbath. If you're not familiar with Sabbath and all that, I'd recommend going and watching some videos. I'll do a little disclaimer real quick, or you can go in GMS New Moon, or you can go Sabbath. Just go GMS Sabbath, and you can go and watch any of these videos. You can go right here. When is the Sabbath and when is the new moon by Apostle Tahar. This is old page. You can go and look this. All high holy days are based on the new moon, even the Sabbath. Same, that's Apostle Tahar there. GMS Saints of the Most High reposted GMS Yawan, back then GMS Myrtle Beach, his video that he did. And then, let's see. This is a GMS Sabbath Passover service instructions, all right, from back in 2010. However, like I said, if you don't know, all right, much about it, just don't keep it, because or if you're unworthy, if you're working on certain things because you don't want to eat of it unworthy, there's a lot, all right. So if you're just hearing about it, I wouldn't try to keep it, all right. I would just pray the Lord passes over you. You can go and look at, this whole page is pretty much, as long as you see GMS, all right, or a repost from GMS, all right, you should be all good to go, and you can understand it and how it goes. Right, here's the one rebuking IUIC's idea about Friday to Saturday, because that's not the correct way to keep Sabbath. It is by new moon to new moon. So anyway, little bit of a disclaimer. So we do got Passover, we do got Sabbath coming up. If you don't know what Sabbath is, now you know how to look it up. Passover, of course, you'll learn in time. If we're here for another year, we'll see. But yeah, man. So. And that, mind you, that is a service that's held by the GMS. I'm not in GMS, all right, but that's where I learned from, so I know how they roll it. It's the elders that hold that, okay? So it's not even the regular brothers that hold the Passover. It's something that you really got to know about. There's a lot of tasks and certain things that you got to do, and you mess up one thing, man, and You bring a curse upon yourself. So this is a video that I found earlier. Okay, just wanted to get that disclaimer out. But this is a video I found earlier by this guy named Sumo Trey, aka Don Spliffs. This guy, whatever he is, and he posted this on Threads, right? And it says, "Boy, hell nah, who predicted this shit?" All right, well, the prophets did. All right, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone have been talking about this for quite some time. As a matter of fact, I even did a lesson on it. Let me see if I go into Boston, because they're from Boston Dynamics. Let's see, Robot. Let me see. Yeah, see, I made this back this was a year ago. All right, and it was titled Terminator, iRobot, RoboCop, and so on, foreshadowing, right? And even before this, I had another lesson about it, I believe. I can't remember what I called it necessarily. I imagine if I go and look for it. Let me see. Let me look for it, see if it's in the thumbnail. I know I did one quite a long time ago. Let's see. I'm not gonna try to spend too long on it, but I do want to try to see if it pops up. And I could have passed by one of these. It could have been any of these. Yeah, I can't necessarily find it, but here it is. Here it is. I believe this was the first one that I made. I think this was just a repost. Did I even talk through it? I don't think I did. I think this was just a little video I put together, right? Or that I reposted. Alright, look at this. This is from 3 years ago. This is like the prototype of those guys, right? So you got that little robot dog with a gun on it. See, it was just a prototype. But now they got a full-fledged version of it. I couldn't quite tell, and going back to the, I can't quite tell if it's AI. There's so much AI now. It's getting harder and harder to detect. It could very well be, but regardless if it is or not, it doesn't matter, because this is real. This was not AI. Okay, and that was back in 3 years ago in 2022, where AI was not nearly as advanced. We didn't have Sora, and Sora's shutting down now. But you can see they perfected it by they had it mounted like this. What they did now is they just flipped it upside down. Right? You can see the gun's actually upside down. That makes a lot more sense. All right, to flip it upside down. And then you get into like FPV drones and stuff like that. But yeah, man, you can see all these different things. Technology on making troops invisible and all these different things. And that video wasn't a lesson, but a repost was titled "All That Technology, but E has no chance against the Lord." So when Yahushua comes back, we know we can go and get that, prove that. As the scriptures say, prove all things, make war with him that sat on the horse. This is Revelation 19 and 19 through 20. and it says, and I saw the beast, and of course the beast is referring to NATO. All right, let me pull up a little photo, all right, that y'all can enjoy. And most, the ones that have been around, they already know where I'm going with it. But this post right here, this is from GMS, as you can see in the corner. It's I don't know when this came out, but it's been around for a while. And you can see the beast. All right, these nations make up NATO, which is the beast, and there's a couple more now, but it was originally established with 19 nations. And yeah, you can pause this and look at it. There's sources cited, right? Read Revelation 13 and 17. And you got to have your spiritual goggles on. And yeah, man, so that's the beast system. So, and I saw the beast, that's NATO, and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And, the one that's sitting on the horse and against his army is dealing with Yahushua and the angels. It says, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet, that's the Roman Catholic Church, i.e. the Vatican, It says that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire burning with brimstone. So that's nuclear missile destruction right there. So were they successful? No, they were not. No, they were not. But they have this technology, and we're not dumb. This guy said, who predicted this? All right, the prophets. The prophets predicted this, but you didn't want to listen to him. All right, there's another one. Let's see. Yeah, on top of that, I mean, you can get Matthew 23 and 34. That's not the scripture we're looking for, but that one says, wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify. And some of them shall ye scourge in your synagogues, and persecute them from city to city. That's what you do. That's not the one we're looking for. Maybe it's, I'm using hearken. Maybe it's hearken, not. Yeah. Here we are. Jeremiah 35 and 15. Fuck yeah, there was a gnat on the screen. Where's the King James Version? That's probably the easiest way to do it, right? Yeah, here it is. So Jeremiah 35 and 15, it says, I have sent also unto you all my servants, the prophets, okay, rising up early and sending them, saying, return ye now every man from his evil way, and amend your doings. That means correct correct the way you're walking. And go not after other gods to serve them, and ye shall dwell in the land which I have given to you and to your fathers, but ye have not inclined your ear, nor hearken to me. That means you didn't listen. All right, hearken means to listen. Okay.
Hearken.
Pay attention. Listen. Okay. You didn't pay attention. You didn't listen. Okay. Not to the prophets, but to the Lord. You didn't listen. Mind you, it says, I sent my servants. All right, and jumping down, it says, but you've not inclined your ear nor hearken unto me, which means that listening to the Lord would have been you listening to the prophets. You guys ain't prophets. You ain't this. You ain't that. All right. That's cool. Yeah, so there's another one like this, I believe, as well. Or is this the, let me see. Oops, come on now, man. Come on. Why you gotta make it like this? All these extra freaking things. Anyway, where were we? We're Jeremiah 35. Yeah, so we got Jeremiah right here. This is 24 and 26. This is the one. All right, this is the one we usually get. So Jeremiah 7 and 24 through 26. It says, but let me get through 23. Okay. But this thing I commanded Slakia, verse 23, Jeremiah 7:23. But this thing commanded I them, saying, Obey my voice, and I will be your power, and ye shall be my people, and walk in the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you. So you're supposed to be doing what the Lord wants you to do, not what you want to do, not what you want to listen to. It says, but they hearkened not, nor inclined their ear, but walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward. Okay, and the imagination of their evil heart, they wanted to do, all the wicked, shit out there that they wanted to do. It says, verse 25, since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt, that's that, Exodus, that's what the Passover really represents, unto this day I have even sent unto you all my servants the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them, yet they hearken not unto me, nor incline their ear, but harden their neck. They did worse than their fathers. So, if you know about those that were, being led out of Egypt, most people have read that. All right, they were stiff-necked. All right, it's saying the people after them are even worse than that. And you got to realize these guys were complaining about everything. All right, well, the food was better in Egypt. We had water in Egypt. We had steak in Egypt. Right, not necessarily steak, but, we had finer meats in Egypt. We had this in Egypt. Well, then fucking go back. Go back then. Okay? Ungrateful. All right? Ungrateful. That's that spirit of like the 2/3, right? So yeah, we weren't, it's on the day that that Passover's coming in, but this wasn't really a Passover lesson, but a little bit sprinkled in there. A little bit sprinkled in. So yeah, man, hell no, who predicted this shit? The prophets, but you didn't listen, you didn't hear, you weren't listening. All right? That's why Jake's going to be completely caught off guard, man. You're going to be completely off guard. And you got guys like Guess Who's Back that says all you need to do is throw a sheet over the robot. You think that's going to work, dummy? All right? You think that's going to work? All right? Let's go back and let's see what it said. Come on now. Yeah, that's not gonna work. It'll start shooting as soon as you do that, and you'll die horribly. Exactly, I'm gonna like that. It says that robot has a gun. The sheet has vision blocking capabilities. Okay. And it says, bro is the guy who would have stopped the school shooter. I would have got it. I would have got it done. It says, so you're saying throwing a sheet is gonna block thermal sensors. You think they're really just going to put a camera and that's going to be their only form of targeting? If you only knew how wrong you were. That thing is equipped with a 50 BMG to include a squad of support. So yeah, in your imagination, you take the point man, then you get shredded by 7.62 in the ass. That's the same caliber that they use in AK-47s. It says, then guess what? They remove the sheet. Everyone Rambo till they dead. It's true. It won't have a gun once I'd attach it. So you just kind of don't understand how movement through physical space works, huh? Right, this guy's dumb. Alright, this guy's just real dumb. Okay, perfect example of Jake. Literally everyone who saw the Boston Dynamic robots predicted this. I would agree. Well, not everybody. Some people are really, really dumb. But those with a fragment of a mind, alright, would have predicted this. Ukraine using those FPVs. Alright. Ukrainians watching this. You see all these different things, right? All these different things. Look at this. Yup. There you go. And that's even more advanced. You think this what? You think that doesn't have thermal? All right. All right. It says just putting this information out there for educational purposes only. The battery is on the bottom, 5th picture. You don't think they're gonna update that? It says an emergency stop button is on the back, 6th picture. Right there. Yeah, have fun getting to that. They say it's got speakers, an Intel D435. I don't know if that's a CPU. I'd imagine it's a CPU. I don't think it would have any graphics capabilities. 2 microphones, 4 LED lights, rear RGB. Why would you need RGB? It's got 2 Wi-Fi antennas, 2 LTE, 2 GNS antennas. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you think that's gonna... Yeah, man, you ain't... First of all, you ain't even getting to that. You have fun trying to lift that over. I want to see what someone says. If you're able to get close to throw a sheet over, it can still shake the sheet off. They'll figure out how to fix all that. I'm sure they're already working on it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll post updated with updated information. You're not going to get that information. You're not going to get that information. Okay? These people, again, it's that hubris. All right, here. This is Proverbs 16 and 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. You're so overconfident, man. That's becoming prideful. Oh, I survive. Go ahead and let one come at you then. Let one come at you then. Well, I'm not going to do it. Why? Why? You're so confident. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and pick that thing up. All right. Throw it on its back, and then, or get behind it, and turn that button off. And you can see in that picture that button ain't even there, buddy. That button ain't even there. What button? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I can go look up Boston Dynamics. Actually, I'll leave this page up just for the sake of it, but Boston Dynamics robot dog Alright, well, yeah, get up there. Yeah, well, first, there's a bunch of buttons right there. Have fun getting up there. And then, if we could see the back. This is going to be a 3D model, so it's probably not going to have texture wrapped. Oh, it does. So it's got both of those. And it's got these, right? So, I mean, have fun trying to get to either of those. All right? I mean, you could say the same thing by attacking right here. All right? And just, getting at its leg. Oh, yeah, just attack that right there. But it's probably going to be made out of some titanium and some shit. Have fun even trying. Have fun even trying. Let's go to the Boston Dynamics website. Can we see a 3D image of what it looks like? And it's scalable. You can make big ones or small ones. Yeah, have fun till you have those little fucking mini raptors like in Jurassic World running after your ass, and it's all those little ones, and they shoot your ass with needles instead. All right, they have sedatives or, poison or something in it that can take your ass out. You just, look, man. Look, don't be stupid, all right? This is 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. It says, lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Now, this is dealing with us, and this is truth. These people out in the world, Satan is going to get advantage of you, man. All right, Esau is going to get right over your ass, all right? Right over your ass. All these different things, all right? It's just, look, man. Look. Yep, that's from that old video. Yep. All these different things, man. You think that you're going to, get at it. What is this for? Okay, an AI reaction meme. All right, you got me at the titties. All right, so I wanted to see what was going on. I was like, was she gonna say something or what? Just posting a random picture of some girl with her titties out. It doesn't make no sense. Yep, that's from Terminator, Black Mirror, James Cameron, RoboCop. Yeah, absolutely. All right, absolutely. And I did that video 3 years ago. Okay, and some people are just now coming around. So yeah, man, at the end of the day, some people are going to be taken advantage of because they don't know about his devices. They don't know what he's capable of. There are still people in this day and age that think the government wouldn't hurt its citizens. How dumb. How dumb. Okay, so this is, we only want the first 2 scriptures here. For this one, Micah 2 and 1 through 2, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity, that's wickedness, and work evil upon their beds. And this is an evil situation. You know what they're going to use that for? Wickedness, evil. It says, when in the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man and his heritage. That gives away who it's talking about here. Who covets fields? Who covets land and then takes it by violence? Esau. That's colonizers right there. That's peak European behavior. Some people say, "Oh, well, no, they're trying to." No, who did it the most? Who has colonized More land than any other nation. Europe. The British Empire. British Empire. Covering around 33 to 35 million or whatever that is. Is that kilometer? Yeah. So yeah, man. So no. All right. Say, oh no, it was China. Yeah, not as much as the white people have done it. So-called white people, right? So yeah, they're the ones that are hammering it out. All right, and a lot of people still think that, again, you're done. You don't know who the real Hebrews are. You don't know who the Hebrew Israelites specifically. You don't even know who the other Hebrews that are not Israelites are. All right, you don't know who the Edomites are. You don't know anybody. You don't know anything. All right, you're sitting around just scrolling TikTok without learning anything at all. Right? It's fine to, have some entertainment, but you got to have some edification, man. Or you're going to be just completely brain rotted and done and dumb. Right? Shit, man. There's some times where I feel like I'm getting, slower mentally by, all this technology usage. And I'm actually, in this truth, and I'm actually reading these scriptures and stuff, let alone people that aren't doing any type of learning of anything about the truth, the news, nothing. They're just sitting there, just TikTok, Instagram reel. Those people, think about how dumb they are. All right, think about how dumb they are. They don't even have the conscious thought that, hey man, I feel like, I'm getting mentally slower from 10 years. I'm also getting older. I'm not old, but I'm quickly, getting basically out of my 20s. So yeah, man, they say your cognitive ability declines just a bit in your 30s. So because I guess you stop producing something. All right, so you got to really use it or lose it, as they say. So Revelation 12:12 says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And we know that this devil is Esau Edom. Sometimes referred to, usually Satan is used to refer as the spiritual demon Satan. There are a couple scriptures that refer to his dealings as Satan as well. I mean, he's really in the pocket of the spiritual demon Satan. All right, that's their god. All right, they're not worshiping Yahweh Shem Shai. They're worshiping Satan. Okay, they're Satan worshipers. Okay. And devil worshippers, all right? Devil worshippers, you're worshiping yourself if you're the devil, all right? And that's what you are. The devil is a man, all right? So, and you have the devil, which is Esau, and you have the spiritual demon Satan, all right? And that's Satan. And then you have sometimes them being referred to as Satan as well, because they're likened unto him, right? That's who they go after. But yeah, so a little quick jump, because I'm just going to close out of it. But yeah, we're not ignorant of what this devil is doing and is capable of, all right, because we have Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. I think it mentions that. Yeah, so no, I mean, the Lord is not in that necessary scripture, but the Lord has given us, a higher level of intelligence that the people out in the world don't have. All right. Again, eyes to see and the ears to hear aren't just for the scriptures. I mean, to understand the scripture, you got to understand what's going on. Okay, so we have the eyes to see and hear that as well. A lot of people, they got all wrapped up in the X-Files. All right, with Jeffy X-Files. All right, with Uncle Jeff. And they got wrapped up into that for a little bit. So, oh my God! And then they just forgot it. Now they're on to the Iran war. All right, and then after that, whatever happens, the next, distraction about, oh my God, they're going to go on to the next thing and not think about the Iran war. It's going to be over and over and over again. They get these things with these distractions, and that's all the war in Iran is really just a big giant distraction from everything else going on. It's really the Epstein wars. Right? That's what people are calling it, and that's what it is, because it's to distract you from, oh my gosh, people are eating babies, they're killing babies, and there's secret, all these different secret things and things going back, and they won't release any of the files from around 2001. Why not? 2002 on back, I think, around there. They or 05 and back, or something around those lines. You don't quote me, you can look it up. Anyway, 2001's in there. They won't release anything about that. Why do you think from the early 2000s, that range like of 2000 to 2003 or 4 or 5 or whatever, they don't want anybody to know about? What happened there? What happened in 2001 in September 11th? Think about it. There's a lot of things that came out with that, and they were dirty with it. All right, they were sloppy with it. They let way too much information out. All right, so Revelation 12:12. And this devil's going to start rolling these things out. These things are going to be on street level. They are going to be part of the, military rollouts. All right. And when martial law kicks in, you're going to see these little puppy dogs rolling around, except, they aren't going to be like the ones you scratch their ears and give them a treat. They're the ones that are going to gun your ass down, right? While you bleed in the street. Slam poetry for you. I always thought that shit was ridiculous. But anyway, Revelation 12 and 12. No offense to anybody that likes it or does it. But yeah, Revelation 12 and 12, it says, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down on you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." They're trying to roll out this new world order, man, this mark of the beast, and they gotta roll it, and go, because they know they're running out of time, man. Shit's getting bad. All right, if you look at outside news sources, America's not doing so good over there in that Iran war. Okay, but they're saying, "Oh no, we're doing great," and you're not. You're really fucking doing bad, man. And that's why you're up in the age of enlistment up to what, 37, 47? All right, and then you're gonna up the draft age. That's fine, and everybody's saying they're gonna dodge drafts. All right, they're gonna be the most dodge drafters in history. People said they're gonna defect. There's people saying they're gonna work for the other side, and it's not gonna work, man. There's no patriotism left in this country. It's dead. It's dead. America is dead. All right, it's just festering now. All right, and we're just waiting for the final nail in the coffin. All right. So Psalm 20 and 7, that's where we're going to close out. It says, "Some trust in chariots, some in horses, but we will remember the name of our Lord." But the Lord, our power. That's Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right, and what does it mean by chariots and horses? That's the military. Okay, that's the military. We can go get that in the English Standard Version. It's going to say, "Some trust in chariots and some in horses. We trust in the name of the Lord our power." Let's get the easy to read version. One of these is going to have it. It says, "Some give credit and victory to their chariots and soldiers, but we honor the Lord our power." Let's get the Ant Bible. It's going to say, same thing. Let's get the BBE. This one doesn't have the Bible in basic English, does it? Let's go and get Good News. What does it say? Only one mentioned. It's dealing with soldiers, man. It's dealing with soldiers. Okay. There's like a literal version, I think. Like the Legacy Standard. Let's see what it says. What was the one we just had? There it is. Good News Translation. I missed that top. It says Psalm 27. "Some trust in their war chariots." In this case, it would be like their tanks. All right. "And others in their horses. But we trust in the power of the Lord, our power." Okay. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So, yeah, man. That's where we're going to close it. Right? It's simple. All right. And the Lord's going to make quick work of these guys. And they're going to be gone kaput and toast, man. It's going to be it's going to be really embarrassing for them if you really want to get down to it. So that's the lesson. We're going to close it out there. All right. We got Passover coming in just like 10, 11 minutes. 12 minutes, I think. So yeah, we're going to close it out there. Lord willing. All right. The lesson was edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. I want to say shalom to brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring. Keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing, shalom.